Honest review. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another honest review on the channel, where today we're going to be talking about the newest season of Money Heist. Came out yesterday. This will be a spoiler review because it's kind of hard to talk about a show that's been out for almost 3 years now without, okay, explain myself real quick why it's a spoiler, and none of them else have been a spoiler except for Outer Banks. It's really hard for a show that has so much lore in it to not talk about spoilers. Because if I talk about spoilers, if I don't talk about spoilers, this video will be kind of pointless and won't make sense. But if you're still here and you haven't watched the show yet, watch it. It's totally worth it. I'm gonna just give my review now because you're probably not gonna watch the rest of the video. I'm gonna give it like a 92. I've been happy with the show since it came out. So yeah, let's hop right into the spoiler review. You've been warned. Alright, let me start with the beginning of this season. This season is only 5 episodes long. I was very sad, but you know what? They were full of action and many different story elements. The one thing that was always struggling with all 4 the parts has been the idea that there was just so little like action. It was just all story driven, which isn't bad. But like with characters dealing with like stuff of what's actually going on, like when they're in the bank, or what are they in? They're not in a mint. They're kind of like I don't really know exactly. I think they're in a bank. I can't remember exactly what it's called because they haven't actually they haven't said the name since the beginning of part 3. So there's that. And basically the idea of everything is that they're still kind of mourning with the death of Nairobi. They now got Lisbon inside of the building. And everything just seems like it's kind of going jolly good till you find out, hey, the professor, he got kidnapped by the redhead. I can't remember her name. The director. I don't know the exact word for it, but basically we're dealing with that. She's pregnant, and he's second now. She's gonna give birth. She does give birth. It's like so much action is going on that it's crazy, and it's just so hectic, but. Luckily, we do get one of the best side stories continuing, which is the story of Berlin, of what he did before the first heist, and where all these other characters are, and how the other characters came in. And it's one of my favorite side stories to come into the show. Like, we had, like, the Tokyo side story, we had like, all the other character side stories with Nairobi's, we had, like some bits of Sergio's story, just like a lot of different characters, like their side stories, their backgrounds, their everything. And basically we are now seeing like the best one, which is Berlin, because Berlin, confirmed by the creators of the show, that they knew that killing Berlin was a mistake because they thought that the show would end right after the second part, which wasn't true because they didn't know, which didn't become true because the show became a major high praised show on Netflix. And I'm excited for part 6 coming in December 3rd. I am so excited. I'm sad that we gotta wait, but it makes sense because they want to raise the hype a little bit more, and maybe they're not completely done. And sadly, this is the final season, so I'm really sad about that. But things happen, time goes by, and shows need to end, like when they're on highs. And a lot has happened already in the show. In these 5 episodes, more has happened in these 5 episodes than the original season did in 10. And it's crazy to believe that. Like, literally, you are, like, holding your breath. Like, you are you're just so tense. Because you don't know what's going to happen. You're like, oh, this character's going to die. And then you find out they don't die. Oh, you're like, oh, this happened. And you know what? Finally, Arturo died. I was so happy. I hate that guy. That guy sucked from the beginning. I mean, it's not confirmed he is dead, but I'm going to say he is dead because, you get shot and so much blood came out of you. If he somehow survives, I will be very disappointed. And I'll be sad. But with like other characters, like with the side characters with the FBI, like they actually have not been that interesting that much. I really do not like that side story that much because the problem is that you deal with the leader, the general, who's not really interesting to talk to. or even listen to. Then you got Angel, one of the most annoying characters of the entire show, but has cleaned himself up in this season, and I have no problem with him. But with a lot going on comes the final episode, which really shocked me. The final episode of this part, they kill Tokyo off. And, people could say, well, we didn't see a dead body. Listen, you can't survive when 6 grenades are strapped to your chest and they go boom. You can't survive that. Honestly, I am so surprised that Tokyo did die, because you're watching the show and you're listening to her talk in the first and second part, third part, fourth part, all the entire show, her narrating the characters, talking about them. You're like, well, she'll be the final one alive because it makes sense with the narration and everything. Maybe she'll be behind bars. Well, that's not what we got. We got a completely different story of ideas. The last thing that I remember that Tokyo talked about, like in like the narration kind of voice, is that she was talking about killing the bald guy. I don't know the name of him. I don't know the name of a lot of characters. You have so many characters in Money Heist, it's crazy. Who killed Nairobi. And people want him dead. And while we were like, okay, he's gonna die in episode 2, I believe it was, when they beat the crap out of him. And they didn't kill him. They threw him out and he actually came back into the building. The last thing that she said that she killed him. She killed him. That was the last words she said. And, you're like, okay, well, what happens after that? Nothing. That is the last thing she did. And the worst part is that Rio saw her die. Denver was the last person to say goodbye. It was just sad watching all of the characters, saying their final goodbye, and you saw the professor being super upset, which I don't blame him for being upset. Just so much stuff hit me there when I saw that they killed Tokyo off. And they gave so much backstory of what actually happened before season 1 for Tokyo, and that was just like, it made the character more rich of a character because they explained her storyline a lot more. You kind of know when a character's farewell is coming when they show up so much in one episode and it's like their episode. You know that when their time is up, you're going to see more than you ever saw in 3 episodes of them, and you're like, what's going on? And that's when the lights turn off for them. And the main question I have is, where's the show going to go from here? We're dealing with a very torn line of a war going on right now with them fighting. Now, I do believe only one of the guys survived in the event, the Salvation group, Suicide Squad practically, because everybody else got blown up by a grenade. Now, that is from first person experience, first eye, looking, spectating at the show. If I watch back on that episode, look back and see maybe if I could possibly see someone else. But personally, in my opinion, I do believe that they're all dead besides the leader, and I do not know where the ideal story is going to continue. And if they do release any trailers, I probably will not watch them. But yeah, we had a lot of character deaths. In 5 episodes, we had 3 main characters die kind of thing, and 2 of them were more important than the other one, but, stuff happens. And this show is getting crazy. I don't know how it's going to end. And I'm really glad that, I don't know how it's going to end. I don't know. But personally, going back to the Berlin story, I'm going to talk about some theories real quick. I do believe that we find out what actually happened to Berlin and his mistress. I truly do believe that, now this could be a theory, that Berlin kills his son and his girlfriend. And the reason why I say that is because I do believe that Raphael hinted back on the 3rd episode, or 2nd, when he meets back up with his son after 18 years, that he was kind of hitting on his girlfriend. His son was hitting on Berlin's girlfriend. And, the thing that, we last saw of them was that Berlin looked at his son and went in the eyes and said, If you want anything in this world, you gotta find the guy who has it and steal it from him. Raphael looks at the girl, and they stare at each other for a second, and that's the last thing we see. Well, okay. In the first season, we hear nothing about these two characters. Now, there's a high chance that Berlin's very bitter about his son. Maybe they ran away. I don't know. I have a higher chance of believing that he killed them both and he hid the deaths. He didn't say anything about it. He said his son went back to wherever he went, and he said that he broke up with his girlfriend. I don't know. That's a possibility. Now there is probably going to be theories on YouTube with saying that Tokyo's alive and the show's not going to feel important without her. Personally, I do believe that Tokyo's dead, and I don't know how the show's going to end, but I don't believe it's going to be a Brit ending, the way that we see it. I do believe that we're going to see more characters die. Like right now, I don't know. Like Stockholm, I think she overdosed, or is at least in a trance or something. She dealing with so much stress after killing Arturo. That's his name. That guy, Arturo. She killed Arturo. It was a great thing right there. Now, honestly, there is a chance that Stockholm could have maybe killed herself with the overdose. I don't know. This is very weird talking about this on YouTube. Good thing this is just a show. But you got that. And then you have, like, with Sahinki. Will he survive with his leg being messed up? Who knows? You saw the girl slide something in her hand when she went to the bathroom and gave her baby to Birdman, as I like to call him. And that looked like scissors. She could kill the professor. She could kill all of them. That is a scary thing right there. I don't know. Things seem very, like, weird right now with how the show's going to go. And I'm all for it. I'm excited. And, yeah, we'll probably be back here on December 4th, right after I binge watch the show again, because I love the show. This is probably my favorite show on Netflix at the time, and I am excited. Now, guys, the next review that we might do is, I don't know yet. I have no clue what the heck the next review is. I do know that one is actually planned for the future, which is going to be Season 3 of You. I am so excited for that show. Hopefully the third season is as good as the first and second season. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope and if you guys watch the show and you watched right all the way through, and you did watch the show and I didn't spoil the entire final season for you, then let me know down in the comments what you guys' theories are, or if you guys are enjoying the show, if you guys hate the show actually, like, just let me know. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys later.
Baby, this is do or die. Feel it in my veins tonight. Emotional suicide. You know it's an eye for eye. I didn't